Welcome to Two Broads and a Brit. Okay, it's not great, but it's entertaining. I'm Lynn Hartram. She's Caitlin Greer. What's up? He's Lee Hazel. Yeah, that's what you're getting this morning. That's it.
But today I'm Bill Wilkins and this is my house.
I like it. I do too.
All will be revealed who Bill Wilkins is.
Yep.
Scary.
But it's my house.
I like
I
it.
do too.
I'm like crazy old Maurice over there. That was a Beauty and the Beast reference, just for any Disney lovers. So today we got our friend Lee here, who's just the bestie best, telling us all about.
Oh,
What are you telling us about?
I've no idea.
What?
It's going to be a good one.
Dunkin' Donuts have got a sale on.
Right.
No, today, as you ask, I am going to be talking about, this won't surprise you to learn, but I learned about this in my mum's Unexplained magazine.
Cool.
But basically, it's the most famous, probably the most famous haunting case in England.
Cool. Nice.
So it's known as the Enfield poltergeist. Started in 1977. It finished in 1979. So as poltergeists normally bugger off after 2 or 3 months, they get bored. This one was a real stubborn fucker. 18 months.
Is that real? Do they usually like peace out after a while?
Yeah, apparently it's 2 or 3 months it goes on for.
Well, now there's a theory
Roughly.
that poltergeist is actually created from a living person. So it's basically someone with psychokinetic ability. And oftentimes it's like a teenager going through puberty. And so that's why it doesn't last very long.
Right, yeah, okay. But this one
Puberty does bring out the demons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, this one was one for the scrapbook, as they
right.
say. But this
But
one
I would wonder if it was actually a poltergeist.
But so I first heard about this story when I used to read my mum's Unexplained magazine, and well, I remember reading about it, and it was featured in that as well. But it was also featured. Now, bearing in mind, in the 70s, all the way up to about 1984, didn't get great. I don't know if you know this, but British television only had 3 channels.
Fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Variety.
Yeah. We only had 3 channels. BBC One, BBC Two, and ITV. Okay. So, but yeah, I mean, there was only 3 channels. Okay.
So was there 3 channels?
How many channels were there? A 1?
3.
A 2? A 3.
3.
Okay.
3.
So, I mean, bearing in mind, the television set was also made of wood as well.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Right.
You know, it was the size of a fucking piano.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there was, as I say, 3 channels. But ITV had this evening program called Nationwide. Okay. Now, I do remember snippets of information that my mum picked me up from school and said there's a Nationwide special. It's about this family in Enfield, and they've been haunted. And it's on the news tonight. It's a special, and like mum was fucking, I'll have fucking some of that. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
And I do remember snippets of, I was only 6 or 7 at the time. So I do remember watching it with mum. That was the television program, which I'll get to, but it was like a 6 o'clock news special on this house. So I'll start from the beginning, as all great tales should do, as I refer to my notes. So basically, this house is what you like. Is that Lulu?
The fucking dog was she's sitting on my lap doing her thing, which is fine. Then she decided to start licking the table. So it's like right next to them.
Yeah.
So we had to mute it, and then we laughed. So sorry. We're
That's
sorry.
all right.
It's Lulu's
That's
fault.
Enfield is where this house was. Enfield is in North London.
Okay.
So it's on the scummier side of the Thames, as I say.
Nice.
Sorry, North London.
North London. So basically, it's 284 Green Street is where it happened. The house itself was a council house, which is what Americans call the projects.
Okay.
So,
it sounds so much nicer,
Right? Council house.
Yeah, it's council house. Council house. It was owned by Mum Peggy. Was the owner of the house. The council owned the house, but there was Mum. They had two daughters. The oldest one was Margaret, who was 13. Janet, who was 11. Who else we got? Johnny, dear old little Johnny, he was 10.
All right.
And Billy, who was 7. Just because there's a lot of people living there.
Yeah,
So,
4 kids. 4 kids.
The dad had buggered off.
Right. I would too if there was 4 kids.
Yeah. So he pissed off with a woman around the corner.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, he wasn't far. So, cut to August 1977. The two girls had admitted in later years that they had been messing about with a Ouija board.
Okay.
So, I don't know if it's a real one or it was a makeshift one or whatever, but they've been fucking about with one. Okay.
So,
during around August 1977, bearing in mind the two girls share a bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Margaret and Janet share a bedroom, single bed each. So they're complaining to their mum, nightly, that things are going on. They keep hearing knocking on the wall. Janet keeps getting thrown out of bed. She's waking up on the floor with a thump. She's slung
so
out of bed.
annoying, right?
They're hearing voices, they're hearing whispers, all sorts of stuff. Of course, they're telling Peggy, their mum, and their mum says, "Oh, it's just a bad dream," and all that sort of stuff. So,
right. As bad dreams do. I usually get chucked out of bed by my bad dreams.
Yeah. And you wake up 10 feet away from where your bed was.
Wow, that was a wild nightmare.
Yeah. So, August 31st is the red letter day in the house. What happened was the girls basically ran in to their mum saying, we've been hearing voices, things are going on. And mum says, "Oh, get back to bed. So ushers the two girls back into their room. And as she's telling them off, basically the chest of drawers moves on its own. And we're talking about a big chest of drawers. Slides on its own across the room towards the door. So basically, Peggy has shat herself.
Wait. We were having a discussion before we started this about how we're glad we did the slang episode because we never know what the fuck Lee is saying. Lynn's deductive reasoning is terrible. You said the bureau moved on its own, and she goes, "Oinked own." It's just like Tin Oats all over again. Tin? Oh, his name is Tin? Like a standard?
Yeah.
Starts with a T? Tin? Oh, it moved oinked on? Makes sense.
Start again. Yeah.
So go back to the bureau.
That's
I just needed to draw our attention to that because it was really funny and I can't let it go.
That's all right.
I'm an idiot. No. You're just.
You've known me 4 years now, Lynn. You should be used to this.
Lynn's pretty. So the bureau moves, the dresser moves on its own.
Right? Across the wooden floor. Peggy shats herself, and who wouldn't?
Literally.
So they moved the chest of drawers back. It slides back again.
Oh, motherfuckers.
Right? Yeah. They move it back. It slides back again. The third time, they couldn't move it. They wanted to push it back. They couldn't move it. The chest of drawers would not move it. It was static. So they said, right, well, let's go and get the neighbour. Okay. So they knock on the neighbour's house. Good old Vic Nottingham lives next door.
His name is not Vic Nottingham.
Yeah, his name is Vic Nottingham. Right.
Could he be more British?
His name was Vic. The Vic's a very popular name in England.
Well, not Vic, but the Nottingham part.
Nottingham.
Well,
the sheriff of Nottingham.
Yeah. So Vic goes in. So while the family are all at the neighbour's house, Vic goes in and says, "Well, I'll go in and investigate." When he does go in, all he can hear is loads of knocking going along in the house, and there's no one there. So Vic calls the police, right? So the police
As one would do.
Yeah. So the police turn up. You got a woman constable and a male constable. So they go in and they can hear knocking coming from the walls and stuff like that. And of course, the family are back in the house now. So what happens is a kitchen chair moves on its own 4 or 5 feet, slides in full view of everyone.
Wow.
Slides and then goes back into the kitchen.
So it went in and out. It was like, I'm here, and now I'm gone.
Now I got to put it back.
It was like an L shape. Right in full view of two police officers.
Interesting.
Okay? So they said, well, this is a little bit beyond us,
Yeah, right. What are they going to do?
Yeah, we can't arrest anyone. We're trained to arrest people and shake people down. Tread on people's windpipes, that sort of thing. That's what we're here for.
What you do when you don't have a firearm.
Don't you dare lean forward and say sorry, please.
I'm not saying shit. Are they really doing that? Are they treading on windpipes?
Apparently, that's part of the training. But in this particular night, I'm joking.
Today, we're going to learn how to smash a windpipe with your foot.
So
the boots on, boys.
As they go out,
shit kickers.
As they go out, they say you might want to ring up the local sinister minister, because this is a little bit beyond us. But what we'll do is we'll file a report. God love them. They've obviously filed a report when they got back to the station.
Mm-hmm.
So next thing you know, there's a knock on the door from a reporter from the Daily Mirror. The Daily Mirror is a national newspaper in England.
Okay.
So they've sent good old, what's his name?
Good old, what's his name?
Good old Graham Morris.
Graham
Morris.
Why does everyone in this story have the most British names of all British?
Graham Morris is his name.
Graham Morris.
He works for the Daily Mirror. He's a photojournalist, so he's knocking on the. They've got the story from the police station. Give out the local stories. He says, right now, if you want help and support within this, then it might be in your best interest to get exposure.
Mm-hmm.
So Graham Morris goes in. What happens, which doesn't feature in the film of The Conjuring 2.
That's the film.
I'll get to it later, but I've also read the book about. There's a book. So what happens? I'm going to read you a line. So this is what Graham Morris has to say. As always, hold on to your tin helmets. All right. So it was a life-changing event when he went into the house. Okay. It was clear that the uncanny happenings were occurring when the children were there. Morris stood in the gloom in the kitchen, and one by one they brought the children in, asleep in the adult's arms. Okay. The last one to come in was Janet, who's the 11-year-old girl. Okay?
Time out. They're carrying in sleeping children?
Yeah, bearing in mind, they can't sleep in the house. These kids are knackered. Right?
Okay.
They're just not sleeping because of all the happenings.
Okay.
Okay. So they're carrying the children into the kitchen. The children are asleep in the adult's arms. Suddenly, things just took off and just started flying around the room. I got hit by a Lego brick over my right eye. He's convinced that the objects were not being thrown. Good old Graham even moved to the corner of the kitchen so he could observe everyone in the kitchen. And he said things were still being thrown around and no one was doing it.
So this was when Janet was in the room?
This was when Janet was in the room. So the main focus of amongst all the activity was centered on Janet.
Okay. So Janet, who is 11, so she's
11. Wait, was Janet 11 or was she 13?
Janet was 11. Her older sister, Margaret
is 13.
Was 13. They shared the bedroom.
All right.
Graham also describes a sequence of photos that he took at the time of Janet levitating over the bed. Now, Graham has got a little assignment of his own in his house. He's now convinced that this stuff is real, okay?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Over the course of the coming few weeks, he set up cameras, okay? Now, these cameras were on a continuous drive. They go off every 30 seconds. They take a picture every 30 seconds. And bearing in mind, this is 1977. Okay,
Right.
you know, it's not like today's high-tech equipment. Okay, now the camera took the famous picture of Janet being thrown out the bed. There's a picture of her in midair.
Yeah, and it kind of looks like she's jumping.
Yeah,
it does.
It looks like she's jumping, but it goes off every 30 seconds. If you zoom in on that picture, what you can see is that Margaret is asleep in her bed.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, but you don't see. She is, but everyone's obviously centered on Janet in midair. So that's just one of the pictures that Graham. I mean, that's the picture that made the paper. You know, so they did the story. So now it's
moving.
Oh, she Googled it.
I Googled the pictures. It's like a montage though. It keeps like
somebody made it like
they made it so.
That's it. Yeah. So the other girl is.
It does look like she's just jumping off the bed though.
It does. But that's the main picture that they used. Yeah. So September the 10th, 1977. This was a front page story on the Daily Mirror.
Yeah.
Okay? The headline was "The House of Strange Happenings." So this is the front page of a national newspaper.
Right.
So what happens is Janet, from here on, is getting teased and bullied at school.
Because of the paper. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Janet is getting a tough time at school. She doesn't want to be at school because she's getting teased and bullied.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. She doesn't want to be indoors because she can't sleep.
Right.
You know, poor girl, you know, she's in a no-win situation.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is, on the basis of that front page newspaper going ahead, Nationwide are now going to do a story of their own. They're going to do like a nationwide special on the story. On the aftermath of the newspaper, Nationwide want to do a story, and in between all this, the Society of Psychical Research get wind of the story. So they investigate paranormal stuff, you know, that sort of stuff. So they send around good old Maurice Grosse. Maurice Grosse. Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
That's his name, Maurice Grosse.
Mr. Grosse to you.
And Guy Leon Playfield. So I'll just call him Guy for short.
Guy
Leon
Playfield.
Okay, yeah. So pair of them are sent round to investigate what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'll refer to the Society of Psychical Research as SPR for short. Okay. So the SPR say to these two lads, get yourself round there. It's absolute fucking carnage every night by all accounts. You're going to love this. Get yourself around there. They might have some cheese on toast for you. You never know.
Nice.
So they go around there, and lots of ongoings. One of the first thing that didn't get featured in the film, The Conjuring 2, but it was featured heavily in the book, that the Maurice Grosse says, I'll go and sat himself in the kitchen, and the teapot started moving by itself on the kitchen table, which obviously freaked him out a little bit.
Wow.
So, you don't fuck with anyone's tea. You know,
right. I was going to say, it is a British ghost after all.
Clearly, so yeah. So the teapot starts moving on its own, which freaks dear old Maurice out. So there's a whole sequence of events that they're witnessing firsthand. Okay, and I'm going to read off some of these things that they've seen. So the television keeps changing channels on its own.
All three channels?
All three channels are getting,
changing?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The teapot's been moved. Okay. They're hearing strange whispers. Janet has had a curtain wrapped around her neck by a mysterious force. Trying to strangle her. They've all witnessed that. Loud thumps. The children being thrown out of bed, landing, stuff like that. Marbles are being flown about the place. This is quite the ghost is
crazy.
highly entertaining. He's mixing it up a bit. In fairness to him, he's mixing the game up. Oven gloves have been catching on fire with no one holding a match.
Oh.
So things are going up in flames and stuff like that.
Wait, shit's literally catching on fire?
Yeah, by itself.
All right.
So it's the ghost is upping its game.
Wow.
So Nationwide arrived with the film crew. Now, bear in mind, you've got Graham Morris sat there. You've got the Nationwide film crew. You've got Morris there. You've got Guy there. You've got the mum and Janet and Margaret are on the settee. Okay.
Yeah.
So what has been happening is that the previous owner, or the guy that you see, is a guy called Bill Wilkins.
Bill Wilkins.
My name is Bill Wilkins. Yeah.
He's scary. Bill's a scary guy.
Bill died in the house in 1963.
Okay.
Okay. Now, Bill has been speaking through Janet. Okay. So Janet's become possessed by Bill, and she's been talking in this loud, growly voice.
Right.
That Morris is now saying basically no child can put on that voice. And Janet's been doing this for 2-3 hours at a time.
And there's recordings of it, right?
Yeah, there's recordings of it, I mean, that just gave me a bit of a sore throat just by doing that then. So, and all these experts are saying there's no way an 11-year-old child can keep that up without getting sore throat or, danger to, larynx or whatever. So Nationwide are there filming, and they say, okay, well, Bill, would you like to say anything? So, through Janet. So Janet says, right, my name is Bill Wilkins and this is my house. My house.
Nice. Seriously?
So yes, yeah. So, and then what happens is Janet, or through Bill, says this one line, which freaks everybody out. And apparently she said, and I'm going to do it in dear old Bill's voice.
Nice.
Now Bill was 72 when he died.
Okay.
And apparently he was a lover of foul language.
Oh,
which
my man.
Already he's got my vote. But he wasn't shy in telling Morris to fuck off during the conversations that they have. Good for entertainment. So what Janet said in front of the film, because I went blind and had a hemorrhage. Sorry, excuse me, run that again. I went blind and had a hemorrhage and I died in the chair downstairs. Yeah. That's what Bill...
Yeah, like 7 times.
So that's what Bill's relayed. Now, could Janet have known that? Highly unlikely. What happened was Bill's son, Terry, confirmed, yes, that's true. Yeah, he died in the chair.
Wow, and they still had the chair, didn't they? The chair was still
had the chair. Yeah, it was a big brown leather chair. So Terry confirmed it.
Think about how many old man. Think about how many old man farts are in that
I
chair.
was just thinking that.
Yeah. One of the other lines that Bill was saying through this dialogue that was I am invisible, you can't see me, I am a Ghost.
He said that? He spelled it out?
He spelled it out.
Is he like a modern day rapper? Because they spell everything out.
He was a bit of a character, Bill, by all accounts. So anyway, the TV program goes out. Guess who's on the TV program to add credence? The 2 police officers. Saying, yes, it's true. We saw the chair moving. Now, one key witness was the Lollipop woman. Okay? The Lollipop woman.
Explain.
Outside the house is a zebra crossing, right? Yeah, because there's a school across the street.
Okay.
So there's a zebra crossing, right? So the Lollipop Lady, you know the Lollipop Lady?
No, what is it?
Oh, it's the crossing guard.
Seriously?
Crossing guard, where Lollipop.
Call
Lollipop
I hate you so much.
Okay, oh, you Lollipop Man? Lollipop Man? So
No.
just what they hold.
What?
What they hold is a big round sign. What they hold is a big round sign on a stick. Looks like a lollipop.
Yeah, it looks like a fucking sign on a stick for kids to
Yes.
cross safely. It doesn't look like anything but a sign on a stick. We call them what they are.
All right, I'm sorry. Caitlin, I just want to make it clear that I don't invent these words, but
I know
they're commonly known as Lollipop Man or Lollipop Woman. Sorry, the Lollipop
fucking
Woman.
Wizard of Oz. It's
Right.
just little munchkins running around helping kids cross the street. I don't like it.
I'm imagining this magical world in England where they, instead of ice cream man, they have like lollipop trucks that go around. Would you like a lolly? The lollipop lady. Oh, here comes the lollipop lady. Mummy, I want a lolly.
Go on, darling, do it for mummy.
Do it for mommy.
So anyway, the
Okay.
Lollipop Lady is one of the key witnesses in all of this, right? She's
Okay.
walking down the street.
Right.
She sees Janet elevating in her bedroom. Okay, so what she sees is Janet going up and down horizontally near the ceiling of her bedroom.
So
Okay.
this lollipop lady
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
is a peeping Tom.
Right? I was thinking the same thing too.
She's like
what the
looking-
fuck is she looking in the
Looking
windows
into
for?
kids' windows, like,
she-
"Ooh, I wonder what Janet's doing today, sir."
So she can tell that Janet's not bouncing on the bed.
Okay.
Okay.
It's obvious. Okay.
Too slow, yeah.
And horizontal.
So she's horizontal and she's just
Okay.
going up there. So she's seen this, and now she's on the program.
Right.
So you've got key witnesses there. So now that's the program, and it's in the national news. And of course, in the midst of this, Janet is still getting bullied and teased at school.
Right. Right.
Poor girl. So Morris and Guy stay there, and they're still investigating. Morris is getting told to fuck off every night by Bill,
Nice.
which is nice.
Like Bill.
Oh, fuck off, Morris.
Apparently, one night Morris was trying to communicate with dear old Bill, and Bill didn't like what he was saying and threw a cardboard box and a pillow at him. So
he had a pill. Well, at least it was like softer items.
yeah, so anyway, the SBR are a bit pissed off with Morris and Guy. They're saying you've been taken in by a couple of fucking young girls. What's wrong with you? It's obvious. They're just faking it. So and they're going, but so the SBR are now torn. They're like 50-50, and they're going back saying no, we've seen all this now.
Right.
So they're split. As well. So all sorts of people are now going in the house. So what they send in is a ventriloquist of all people.
Because of her, she was.
They want to work out
Oh, gotcha.
if Janet, is this voice real or whatever?
So when Janet was being possessed by Bill too, that I know that during the interviews she wouldn't speak in Bill's voice if she was facing everyone, so she had to have her back to them,
Yeah.
so they couldn't see her face.
Yeah.
So they didn't know.
So what they also did was a trick with the water.
Did they do that?
Yeah, they did that in real life. They did that. They made her have a water in her mouth, and Bill still spoke. And then when she was finished, he spat the water back in the glass. So I'm trying to get the name of the guy, and they also sent in a magician as well. Believe it or not.
For fucking fun. They're like, you know what this needs? A rabbit from a hat.
Right.
And guess where the magician was American.
Oh, wow.
Damn it.
Finally sent someone who got some brains.
Melbourne Christopher, as Kate would say, good old Melbourne Christopher.
Good old Melbourne.
Good old
Christopher.
Melbourne. So he's gone in.
Melbourne Christopher.
So
He wasn't
Jason said-
American.
So he's gone in and said, you know what? I'll have a fucking piece of this. I'll have some of this. Right?
Okay.
He walks out and says, you know what? It's all bollocks. I've
Oh.
not seen anything to suggest that it's real or there's paranormal stuff. It's all faked. It's all staged. As does the ventriloquist. Now, his name was Ray Allen. He said, no, she's faking it.
Ray Allen?
Ray Allen.
Professional basketball player.
So,
and
then enter the American demonologists, Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Right.
Famous couple who had their hand in the Amityville and stuff like that. So they've come over. Didn't stay as long as what they did in the film.
They're only there for like a day, right? Didn't they just show up kind of uninvited and they were like, "Hi, here we are with the Warrens. Want to get a piece of this?"
They apparently they were a bit pissed off there was no Dunkin' Donuts.
Right.
So they went home. So, but they said, well, yeah, we've seen enough. Yeah, it is paranormal.
And then they just left because they were like, we can't help. See ya.
Yeah, well, so stayed for a bit of cheese on toast and a cup of tea and left. So,
Nice.
So they said, yeah, no, it's true. So this is still going on. Now, 30 witnesses have said they've seen stuff going on in the house.
Cool. They just got like everybody involved.
Okay, these include...
Right? There's like a line out the door. It's like a fucking sideshow.
I deliver milk to the house, and I...
So
I was the postman.
These include neighbours, psychic researchers, journalists, the police, and even the local Lollipop Lady saw and heard moving furniture, flying objects, unexplained knocking noises, and levitation. Just 30 people have seen it with their own eyes, okay?
You know what they didn't have, though? They didn't have Lulu.
This is a fucking dog.
No.
This dog is just part of the show.
Lulu. She would have said, they're full of shit.
So,
Just like
generally, the activity stopped 1979.
Okay.
After roughly 18 months, it just stopped. So there's a heck of a haunting.
Interesting.
Why it suddenly stopped?
Yeah, I was just going to ask that. Was there anything?
But nothing after that. Really. So
that's interesting.
the story died down, but it's the newspapers and the camera crew covered it less and less, and they sort of got on with their lives. But 18 months is a lot to endure for a haunting.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
So So that's really sort of the basically what happened is Peggy died in the chair, the same chair that Bill died in.
Wait,
2003.
The mother?
Okay. So the mum.
Oh my God!
Bless you.
Sorry, I couldn't hold that in, and I almost peed my pants. So
the mum.
Cool. A lot of excitement here.
The mum lived there up until 2003. Now, bearing in mind this was all 1977.
Right. So she's
lived there
for another 30 years.
Something years, yeah. So she died in the chair.
Yeah.
40 years after Bill had died in the chair. Now there was another family that moved in after that. I've got the name of the family. Claire Bennett and the 4 sons moved into the house.
Yeah.
From what I read on the internet, one of the sons kept saying, "There's a man in my room." I don't like it. There's a man in my room. They moved out 2 months later. Didn't like it. They moved out. The current owner is unknown. So Guy, who went in there with good old Morris, he wrote a book in 1980, which is the book that I've read. I thought the title of it was a bit vague. It's called "This House is Haunted."
Real
you wouldn't know what that's about.
Right?
Yeah.
It must. Your parents were with your name.
Yeah.
It's a boy. What should we call him?
Yeah.
He's a little guy.
So,
Call him guy.
that's the title of his book. He must have been up all night thinking about the title of that one. Which I've read the book. It is very good. It's a very good book. Obviously, big major film, The Conjuring 2, only a few years ago. Features more on Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah, which is so loosely based on fact.
Yeah.
It's not.
Now, what happened was, in their adult lives, Janet was interviewed by the Daily Mail newspaper.
Yeah.
Which in Britain, it's nicknamed the Daily Fail. Okay. So what Janet apparently said was, yes, we did fake some of it. We
I have heard that. Yeah.
2%. We faked 2%. What had happened is Janet was caught bending some spoons. Okay.
Oh, yes.
She was also caught banging on the ceiling with a broom.
Right.
By Morris. So I think the girls obviously had a good set. I mean, they were 11 and 13. They're young girls. They play jokes.
Right.
So
Right.
I think they've played along with it and, you know, probably edging the other one on a little bit and just, you know, just jovial stuff. So she's later admitted, you know, that we did 2% of it.
Right.
Now
I also heard that, like, a theory on why they really were pretending is because they liked Morris and Guy so much because they didn't really have a father figure around the house, and they were there for so long and they didn't want them to leave.
That could be a good
yeah.
So I mean, they were around there, you know, on and off for 18 months. So they were almost not part of the family.
Right.
You know? So so Janet is obviously now in her 50s, so is Margaret. I couldn't find anything. I know one of the boys has died. That I do know. I can't remember which one it was, but he's died. So that's really where it's at. And that's lots of people go there to the house.
Yeah.
It's taken outside the house, but it's just a normal run-of-the-mill council house.
Right.
The zebra crossing is still there. The school is still there. But it's just like a sightseeing place, you know, like every murder site or whatever it is, you know, you get. So that's generally it. Where am I? The romance in me, as I like to say, the romance in me says I do think it is genuine. With a little bit of, I think the girls played pranks as well.
Right.
No doubt about that. I've no doubt about that. But I think the Lollipop Lady, the two police, you know, officers witnessing the chair moving and then filing a report, that's got good credence. You know, they're upstanding of society.
Right.
So, you know, had it happened in today's era, we've probably got more footage.
Right. Yeah. Right.
You know, because it happened in 1977. It was, you know.
Did they ever get any video footage? I mean, they had video cameras then.
I know they had a lot of audio of her.
Yeah.
Like they did a lot of audio sessions with her.
Yeah. They've got a lot of video footage of her or Bill talking through Janet.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's all over the YouTube. It's all over the internet. There's Wikipedia. It's been in countless paranormal magazines. It's a big story.
Yeah.
Story, and it's but Janet to this day has always, you know, hung on to the fact that it was genuine.
Yeah.
Now I watched a documentary that was in it was called This Morning, which is a show in Britain. Philip Schofield, bless him, who's a presenter of the show. He's very squeaky clean. Good old Pip Schofield. Now,
what's his name?
Philip Schofield.
Oh,
yeah,
Pip.
Pip.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm just checking.
Yeah.
Fact checking.
So he's got Janet in the studio. He's got Guy. I mean, you know, they're all aged a lot. And then they've got this debunker in with them as well. And it's basically, I mean, Guy has clearly got no fucking sense of humour because in the 10-minute thing that I watched, he didn't smile once.
He's a serious guy.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So the skeptic was saying her piece and said, well, I think the girls had an overactive imagination. And Janet went, you weren't there, love. You weren't there, love.
It's almost scarier.
Right?
Is Janet like a functioning member of society, or is she just like fuck the fuck up from all that
she was the editor of Skeptic magazine, this woman. So
pretty
she
cool.
knew her stuff. So and then Guy sort of turned around and had a bit of a pop at her, and then a poor old Pip is trying to play referee. And
no, but like, what is do you know what Janet does now? Is she like?
I don't know what she does for a living, but she rarely goes on television about this. Rare.
Right.
And Margaret as well. So, but what happened was when The Conjuring 2 was coming out,
Yep.
They had a reunion in the house.
Cool.
Back in Green Street, right? So her and Margaret went back to the house after they hadn't been there for, God knows how many years.
Yep.
And Lorraine Warren flew over from America.
Of course she did.
She's now in her 90s.
Yeah. Had to get a piece of the pie.
Right?
Yeah. So she's turned up as well. And so that's generally the story of the Enfield poltergeist.
It's pretty cool.
So don't know what Bill's doing these days, but
Yeah. He's just hanging out.
But
I
This
wouldn't
is
have
my house.
why was the chair still there?
I know. It's
If
gross.
somebody was like, "Oh, you have a chair that a fucking old man farted and died in,"
right?
Yeah, but when they moved into the house, apparently the dad bought all the furniture as part of the house, so it was still there. So
right, but like, if you found that out, wouldn't you put that thing on the curb like faster than you would give it to the Lollipop Lady?
Right?
You have to get into the mind of people from North London, Caitlin.
I guess.
You know.
I can't.
Most people would do that. Yeah, you raise a very good point.
I understand that. Like, chairs don't just grow on trees unless they're wood.
Yeah.
Such a dad joke.
Yeah. Right.
But
So-
I don't
So
know,
that's
man.
So that's So my take up of is I do think it's genuine. I think it's genuine haunting, with the girls playing in on it as well.
Enhancing it a little bit.
Yeah, enhancement as well. So that's generally the story. Well, what I was, Bill died in the chair in 1963. The girls played with a Ouija board in 1977. So that's 14 years that's gone by. So have they conjured up Bill, or was he always there?
Just hanging around waiting to be a dickhead.
This is my house.
Like,
kinda
get
love
over
Bill.
it, Bill. Technically, it's the country's house.
Right? It's
Yeah,
the
it is.
council's
It's not
house.
his. It's local council. Yeah,
It's the council's house.
yeah. The house belongs to Enfield Council. So yeah.
I kind of love Bill, though. He's got attitude. I
Bill.
like a ghost with attitude.
I like somebody that tells, somebody to fuck off. If I ever came back as a ghost, though, dude, it's no holds barred. You can literally say whatever you want because you're a ghost. You can just be like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
OST. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So
Those of you that are just listening,
what I just mentioned.
so many times.
What I mentioned about 3 or 4 years ago, there was a series on telly called The Enfield Haunting,
Okay.
which stars Timothy Spall. He's a well-known British actor. He played Morris, and it was a 3-part series. Now, I don't know if this is true, but I can't remember it from the book. But what Morris did, he said to Bill, who won the FA Cup, which is our soccer version of Super Bowl, in 19 whatever. And Janet's reply was "fuck off." Right? In the series, right? Fuck off, right? So Morris goes to walk out the room, and then Bill tells him the answer. He told the name of the team, which Janet wouldn't have known.
Maybe she would.
Well, it was a random football question.
Yeah.
It was, that happened something like 25 years before. So, but I think say 3 aspects: the 2 police officers, the dear old Lollipop Lady.
I fucking hate that term so much. Most of your British terms I really love. I really do. But Lollipop Lady throws me over the edge.
I'm sorry about that.
It's not your fault. But
apparently it is. Apparently I feel guilty.
Sounds like something that you call a child molester.
Yeah.
Like, and then you put them around, like, oh God, hide your kids. Here comes the Lollipop Lady.
when they advertise, because I used to work for the council, so when they advertise the role, he's known as the School Crossings Patrol Officer.
Yeah,
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
Lollipop man. It's a lollipop man. So the third aspect for me, the police, the lollipop lady,
Yep.
and the information that Bill said that I fell asleep, went blind, had a hemorrhage, and died in the chair.
Yeah.
Could you have known that? Highly unlikely.
Probably not. Yeah.
Highly unlikely. Nowadays it'd be easy. You would just go on Ancestry and get the death certificate. But unless she's heard that from a neighbour or anything like that, that's
right.
That's Bill's son clarified that.
Right.
So that's true. So and 30 witnesses have said.
Yeah, that's cool. I definitely think something was happening.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that it could have gone as far. Like, two young girls in the 70s wouldn't have the capability to like fool all those people. Do as much as that. Like, how are you going to make a Lego fly across the room?
Right.
If you're all sitting in the room.
Right.
Or dear old Morris's teapot moving on its own. I mean,
Right. Like, I feel like, yes, they probably fucked around a little bit, but because I would have done that. I'm like, I'm going to play this up because I can't get in trouble for bending all the spoons. So I'm going to bend all the spoons because I'm a little piece of shit. So,
So that's generally the story.
Nice job.
I hope you liked it.
Good one.
I like it. Good job. Nice job, Lee. Good job, buddy.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, I sneezed.
This is my house. Morris, slag, get out.
I can't even do that voice, and I don't. I want to try it, but I don't because.
See that now. Jokes aside, that has given me a sore throat, and that's 5 seconds. So apparently Janet was doing that for 2-3 hours at a time.
You gotta practice your vocal exercises.
Well, clearly.
You gotta warm up those throat muscles, sir. Okay. So awkward silence. One of my favorite kinds of silences. You know that? I live for uncomfortable moments because I'm most comfortable when everyone else is uncomfortable.
Nice.
I'm serious. It's a weird thing about whatever is in my brain. I'm like, oh, is everyone real comfortable? I'm going to say something to fuck that up real hard. And then I'm going to live in my own glory while everyone tries to figure out how to escape the social situation that we're in. Oh, God. It's fun for me. Yep. So thank you so much for all of your info. I love it. And there's tons of, I think you can find the audio.
Yeah.
I'll try and find it and maybe share like a link or something.
Yeah.
So if you're, what? Did I just stutter? What the fuck? I swear to God, I'm an eloquent speaker until I sit down here and I'm like, I'm gonna find a link. Oh, yeah. The fuck is wrong with me?
No, it's great. It's wonderful.
Might as well just get that out of the way.
Right.
So, okay. Well, goodbye. Thank you to everyone for listening. Thanks for doing all the homework, Lee. I really appreciate it. It was
excellent job.
Thanks to Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks to Bill. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you. Lovely.
Thank you. Thanks, Bill. I sound like a fucking 97-year-old smoker. That's what I sound like when I do the bill. Thank you to all our subscribers. Just like, I don't know, the same shit that I say at the end of every episode. Tell your friends about us. Tell everyone about us because we're fucking funny, and I don't care if you don't think it. Maybe they will.
Right. Spread the word.
Tell your doctor, yeah.
Tell your friends. Tell them. I don't know what's happening.
It's like Elmer Fudd and Bill.
Yes, I had a weird.
You leave that teapot alone, Maurice, for fuck's sakes.
Don't move the teapot. But subscribe to our channel.
Oh, God. Bill's mom is coming through now.
It's Mommy. I cleaned up the farts from that chair. My hair keeps getting caught in these Venetian blinds. I'm quitting. All right, well, that's the end of this nonsense. So, goodbye, you motherfuckers. Have a great day and go fuck yourselves.
Hey!
Bye. Goodbye.
Goodbye. See you next week, darling.
Until next week. I'm a fucking grown-up, and people allow me to take sharp objects and put them near their head. And then I do things like this, and it reminds me that I shouldn't be allowed.
That's hilarious.
Oh.